Hello YouTube, welcome to another video. So I just got home from my second ballet that I've ever been to. This was a Nutcracker, which is a classic. I grew up watching. I remember the VH tapes of I can't remember which ballet it was, but to me that was like the only Nutcracker there was. Nothing else ever held in comparison. And so I don't know. Well, let me back up. All these years later, at 35, with my own two children, it never crossed me to go see the Nutcracker. And this is what I wanted to share about this video. And I started to after I got home because it was such a long day. There was a lot of rushing around. This house is a whirlwind. If you've ever been to a formal or semi-formal event, it's like the hair, the makeup, the steaming and ironing and lint rolling and tweaking, and like in my mind I set aside more time than I really had because my plans changed, and I ended up having a phone interview that was supposed to be yesterday but got canceled, and she was like, hey, can I squeeze you in today? And I was like, sure. But then we get downtown, I can't find parking, and I was like, this is why I wanted to be early, oh my god. But we still made it. We did not miss a thing. Once we got in our seats, we even had enough time. I let the girls go and get popcorn and slushies and candy. And when they came back, the curtain had just lowered, and I was like, oh. They did not start on time, which is a good thing because the show was supposed to start at 7. It was like 6:45, and I'm still like driving around trying to find parking. But anyway, you know, you can kind of like finally exhale when things finally come together. But once I got home, because it's such a mad dash out the door, I started to like hurry up and get out this dress and take off my makeup. And I was like, no, because first of all, I worked really hard on this look. And I just kind of want to relish in this moment a little bit, and then I can come on and share my thoughts on living intentionally. And why I wanted to share this is because so much focus is on what, and I can be guilty of this because of what it affords us. Obviously, when you are treated and you are spoiled and you are used to a certain thing, it's hard to go backwards, but you can tend to put your life on hold if you're like holding your breath for that. So just a little background if y'all don't know. Once I made it a point to date better and require more, I got exactly what I wanted. So it started with, I'm an adventurer, and so I love shopping. Who doesn't? I love doing different things. So I was dating guys that were taking me on motorcycle trips. We would go and shop and do whatever I wanted and go to parties and concerts and comedy shows all over, riding the motorcycle. West Virginia. One time we even rode the motorcycle out to West Virginia, and he took me to it wasn't a horse race, it was some horse event going on. But anyway, then I dated a guy who was always really into live music. So we did a lot of jazz and concerts and things like that. That was my thing too. So the better I started opening my options, obviously I was exposed to a lot more. And not that I didn't know that this stuff goes on, but I really wasn't really too keen on doing that with like girlfriends and things like that. Like we would go to a bar, we would go to parties, but I got spoiled. I got used to them buying tickets, making arrangements, driving, parking, or valet parking, or getting us a nice Uber X. I think that's what it was called. Like when you get the nice SUV, like I don't have to do nothing but get cute and show up, and he does everything else. Like, huh. So, and even my ex-fiance, like he took me to my first ballet at the Kennedy Center, the Alvin Ailey, when that came into town. Like that was on, we had like this running, not bucket list, but things that we always wanted to do. And so we would like check off this list while we were dating, even before before I moved in and things like that. So skip ahead, I was like, living intentionally means always doing what does Ashley want? What do I like to do? What do I need? through the lens of my own interests, and we're going to throw budget out the window. We're going to throw constraints and all these limiting barriers to like going places alone or just having the girls and all of the logistics. What do I want to do? And then also too, making time, being intentional about putting it on the calendar. This is a little deeper than taking yourself on a date or taking yourself out to eat, because it takes more planning. And there's a price point at that as well. Our tickets were $140 a piece, and which was way cheaper than it was online. But I had to come back to not only my childlike self, but like, Ashley, pause this holiday season. Stop running around like a chicken with your head cut off, working and focusing on all of the other moving pieces. And what do you want to do? And I was like, oh my gosh, I either wanted to see a fashion show or a theater, something theatrical. And I was like, so when I looked up the local tickets, I was like, oh my God, the Nutcracker. Duh. And I even had a headache because it was a lot of hush and push, as my mom and I say. And I was like, oh my God, even trying to find parking, you know, that self-talk comes up, right? Like, why didn't you Uber? Why didn't you leave earlier? Why didn't you tell that lady you couldn't today? Can we reschedule? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I start beating myself up. But it worked out. And I was also, because I was just so moved by, if you've never heard live music, especially a live orchestra, it literally just vibrates through your body and just like, oh, you just get goosebumps. And I got a little teary-eyed because I was just having these full circle moments of I wish my grandma was here. I'm so glad that I could make this moment come to life. I'm so glad I had the money. I'm so glad I took the time. I'm so glad I got the idea. And I do not miss a mediocre life. I do not. And when I say mediocre, to me, it's like all you do is sleep, scroll on Instagram, work, drink, see a couple friends, do something for the holidays, you know, the major holidays, and you're on repeat. And even if you do think you have a high sense of self-care and self-love, are you breaking the monotony and going over and beyond? Are you really lavishing yourself, or are you waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect man to come and afford you all the things that are really in the back of your head when you give yourself time to dream? Let me tell you what's on my Pinterest vision board right now. I've always wanted to do hot air balloons. I've always wanted to do a helicopter tour. I've always wanted to make going to New York like a regular thing. We've been in the summer. We went 2 Christmases ago, and we went in the fall. I want to go back in the spring. It's just such a rich city, and it's just so teeming with life, and I just love New York. But I haven't been back since I was with my ex, a fiance. I've wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. That's on my list. I want to go to Chicago and New Orleans, and obviously I love travel, but I also want to go to, I've been to a fashion show before, which was fun with a girlfriend, but I want to go to something a little bit more upscale, a gala, a fundraiser, a fancier, a horse event, like the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness or something. Wine sip. Oh, that's so good. So as you can tell, I have a very extensive Pinterest board. But what can happen is it gets left on the Pinterest board, or it gets left in the vision board, or it gets left in the journal. And I think we do ourselves a disservice, because that too is investing yourself. That too is like, live now. And I remember when I let that part of me really die, because I was so focused on my relationships, making them work. We definitely were struggling in different ways, maybe not always financially, like we don't have the money. It's like, no, where's the money going? And finding myself. So after looking back on the years and like, okay, trying to make up for lost time and constantly redefining self-care and self-love, this was such a, like, this is huge for me because I am the type of person that feeds off of this. Maybe for you, it's not something on such a grand scale. You're not a dressy girl. Heels make you like, oh, you know, the all of, okay, you're not into theater, but maybe it's a baseball game. Maybe it's a football game. I don't know. Maybe it's just hiking. Maybe it's a, you know, whatever it is, whatever. Maybe it's Niagara Falls or taking up a new hobby. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, I can't tell you how many beautiful women I met in the bathroom line, in the line outside, or in the common areas that were like, oh, well, first of all, they were complimenting us, but they were, you know, just small talking. I'm like, how are you enjoying the show? Because we have one intermission, and a lot of them were adult dancers. And one lady was like, well, you know, my style is very geriatric. And I said, she probably was in her 70s or late 70s. And I said, if you dance, you're a dancer. If you do ballet, you're a ballerina, last time I checked, you know. And she laughed, and I said, I'm serious, because one of the dancers in the show who played the grandmother clearly has a very large footprint in the area and is an instructor, and so a lot of her students were there. And some families I met, you know, when we talked about, you know, oh, what was your favorite part? Did you enjoy the show? Because you know how people are like, oh, do you want us to take a picture? And then, you know, they return, then you in turn return the favor. You know, just small talk. A lot of people come to this show every year. It's a standing tradition. And so I had a point, but oh no, what was my point? This is what I had. This is what happens when I segue. I had a point about talking about those people. Oh, but yeah, maybe you wanted, the fact that I met so many dancers, older, middle age, not, you know, one lady had been in her 40s, and the other lady, like I said, she was probably in her late 70s, and they kind of downplay it, but I'm like, no, honey, if someone that is good enough to be in the ballet is your instructor, you know your stuff. You are a dancer, you know. And they just laughed, but maybe it's picking up a new hobby and getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe it is there's so many, maybe it is, I was going to finish my sentence. Maybe it's picking up theater. Maybe it's becoming a makeup or costume designer. You know, there's so many adult classes now that no, you don't have to jump up here and make everything a career or a side hustle or go to Hollywood or be in Broadway, but you just do something because you enjoy it. I also met a lot of the chaperones, I think that's what they're called, or ushers. They volunteer. They enjoy the show so much. They volunteer. They love the theater. They love the vibe. And they give their time willingly. So, you know, living a mediocre life, it's like not only are you in this wheel of, you know, just the same old day in and day out, but you don't dream. You don't spoil yourself. You don't give yourself a break from the monotony. You know, branch out. Do something different. If nothing else, get in your car and drive to another town. One of my shorts is, I love to drive. Drive 2 hours in any direction and see where you land. I feel like 2 hours is just enough where you're not too road fatigued and you still got a lot of life in you to get where you need to get where you are. And explore, get something to eat, stretch your legs, and you can still make it back home. Anything beyond 3 hours, I would say stay. But you know, planning ahead and saving $20 here, $20 there, you'll look up and you'll have the money to do a lot of things. Okay, I'm telling you, we can eat it up, we can gas the money up, the money just disappears, you burn it up in gas, or your subscriptions, the money's bleeding out. When you're really intentional and you really want something, you can find the means and the money to do anything. And yes, these things cost, I get it, but don't be the type of woman where you're making excuses. Yeah, but maybe sometimes if you can get your tickets early enough in advance, they're not as expensive. Or if you don't mind being the nosebleeds, them tickets were, they started at $70, $80, $90, depending on the night, depending on whatever. So, you know, like if you get a weekday night, I mean, versus closer to Christmas and a weekend or whatever. So, you know, I think back on like, wow, I used to just be an autopilot. I used to just be like, homework, and even for myself. And I used to sleep a lot. I used to just be like, ugh, what is life? But not really knowing how to make it better. I don't know. I was in a stupor, and I think because I needed to do so much inner work and so much homework back on focusing on myself, and come back to, I deserve it. Why not? If there's a will, there's a way. These kind of things, So and let me tell you, last point. Yes, it may be an investment in some areas, but in other ways, you can really get creative. I wanted to show you guys. So these are dollar store poinsettias, Dollar Tree. I bought the clip from Dollar Tree as well. I came home and I made my own little hair clip. I also made the girls matching hair clips. These earrings, y'all know Plato's Closet? That is a consignment shop that we have here in my area. These were $3. I love them because they look like chandelier crystals. And then I did my matching eyeshadow. I did not buy any new makeup. I had the eyeshadow. This dress is from Shein. It is velvet, and it can come off the shoulders or it can come up, and it has a little leg, a little slit, little leg. My lipstick I already had. And my purse I already had. This was a gift, and I thought that just kind of played off of my eyeshadow and the green. So I think altogether this whole look was maybe $30. So, and this dress is old. This dress I got off Shein is really old. The shoes I also had. My shoes are somewhere around here. So gas and my tickets. We did not eat out. We did not have enough time, so we had food before we left. And yeah. Oh, minus our snacks. I did let the girls get some snacks. I don't know why I put my hair back up. I'm about to take everything down. So now I will say that just like the movie theater, the snacks were way overpriced. They got Slurpees, popcorn, and some candy for like $27. But, again, you could smuggle your own snacks in if you wanted. I don't remember them. Oh, yeah, they did open my purse. And I don't know how much would fit in here, but they don't like dig. They just kind of like just peek. But still, if you knew 6 months before December you wanted to go see the Nutcracker, you start setting aside $20 a week. You'll have more than enough for your tickets, even if you wanted to sit all the way up at the front. Okay? Trust me, you'll have enough. So, intention, discipline, focus. And also, too, don't wait for anybody. And this is beyond just waiting for a man. Like, I wish a man would just take me because I don't have blah, 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 blah. Friends, people to enjoy what you enjoy. This is not really my sister's thing. It's not my mom's thing. And I have no problem going somewhere by myself. I have no problem. So I hope this is encouragement for someone. Don't feel like a space is too fancy for you. Don't feel like you wouldn't fit in, because you belong where you want to be, where you desire to be. People are kind. People are friendly. People are welcoming, believe it or not. Yes, in this day and age. Nobody in there was thinking about politics. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nobody was in there thinking about skin color. Nobody was thinking about, of course, there's a ton of kids. Nobody was thinking about anything other than the holidays, being in the holiday spirit, supporting friends and loved ones that were actually in the show, and enjoying a classic. Oh, the music, knowing all the music, following the story, the special effects, because remember, I grew up watching it on the VHS, so even though it's still the same type of theater filming, it's just when they made it snow, and when the swan came through, you're like, oh my gosh. And even like when the if you guys remember, the dolls came to life and at the Christmas party. So they brought out these doll houses, life size, well, not life size, but like the size of, no, I don't know, like a large, I don't even know how to compare it, but imagine someone my size being curled up in a dollhouse, and they put the doll in the dollhouse, and then when they opened it, the dancers, and they come up, and you're like, ah! Like, there was still so many magical, to me, special effects moments, even though it's theater, if that makes sense. Especially, like I said, when the giant bunny rabbit or mother goose type of character comes out with all the little children in her skirt, those little magical moments. Like, we get so used to watching TV that is like seeing it, and again hearing the live orchestra. Oh my gosh, the harp. Oh, I love harps. It just moves you. Like, I literally was in tears at when one of the first ballerinas came out, because ballet has always just been so close to my heart. I took ballet very early on, homeschooled, and then I got into ballroom dancing, and then I let it all go, because you can't really make a career as a dancer at 4'11" and being as thick as I was. I literally believed that, and I was a dreamer. So, but yeah, I hope this encourages someone out there. Live your best life, treat yourself, do things out the box, make your life extraordinary in any way that you can. And even if it isn't something like on this level, go on a picnic, have a bonfire on a beach, stargaze, go on a pier at night. What's something else that's magical? Dance in the rain. Like, break out of, I can't say stress is enough, mediocre and everyday routine. Break out of that sometimes, and don't always wait till that time of year. Take a random ice skating class, go roller skating, go, it's I guess those are all dating yourself, yes, but really truly give yourself permission on another level. Get yourself in spaces where it's elevated. It pushes you out of your norm. It pushes you out of your normal circle. You know what I mean? It's 2024 about to be 2025. We are stepping in our greatness, right? Thank you for watching. I hope that really inspired someone out there into the next one. Peace. Bye.